Morning. We're doing good. Just got up the
I
phone
think we're going to be able to free up some
better
classroom
half,
space.
so
They can't permanently just put their square footage. We're not going to be able to.
it's going to get worse.
So at the bottom of we have the classroom space. We'll be able to cover that existing.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that last week when I presented was build out.
Yeah, the old hospital is just all over. So we'll have classroom space, that existing classroom
So anyway, yeah, no, that looks like you guys are
space. That classroom won't be able to class there.
good. That's what you said. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So there were that's another like 690.
Yeah, I think our construction team looked at it and to renovate these buildings.
So yeah, I'm going to Boston.
Especially if you've got dollars too.
And well, you may hear I also talked to her. So I also gave a table card.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that, but just not some space.
Yeah, so
Push
they
that.
committed to zone Dawn as he wanted it in 10. He wanted to be north. And obviously,
Oftentimes,
Yeah.
I end up being wrong.
I think people like maybe at the bottom here. Figure out how to work.
So they're going from 20,000 to 50.
Literally.
We submitted on Friday and got a new
Hey, Fletcher. So I'll let you get to work. Okay.
yeah. I didn't even ask them to do that yet. So yeah. Here's my they just sometimes there's so much noise.
So behind the speakers, if you're good with that, just stand behind the speakers.
Great.
I'm gonna try to stand up. So you're not standing on your toes the whole time.
Dr. Durant, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? It's fantastic. I tried to really, right. I tried really trying to find a blue that no one has.
It's always working.
You should have texted me things for wearing. Yeah, right. I was going back and forth, but I'm like, there's a tan one or a blue one.
Ray with the
Dr. Durant, how are you, buddy?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I wonder who you're talking to when you say Mr.
Yes, I know you are. Tight.
Rachel, Mom.
Oh, look at that. We're going to run with that. Now Blue Racer.
Blue Racer. I'm getting
Blue Racer with fangs.
Hi, how are you doing?
Born ready.
You need more prominent stock fashion.
Oh, excuse me.
More important.
Let me get over here by the most important man in the city.
Okay. I didn't think I should.
Casey, we're gonna honor. Let me know when you get her a check. Let you know raise money for your aunt and she's gonna be grandmother.
Good morning, Eric. Victoria.
You know me with I'm over at Riverside outside Massachusetts. Their hub director, you know he came to me right now. Their hub director at Riverside came to me.
Hey, you brought the beat with you.
Right there.
I'm trying to
Yeah, it turned out great. Didn't it? Yeah.
She has a blue jacket on.
Is Marcy here?
Yes, she has a blue jacket on. Congresswoman just went
No. It's all good. It's all good.
Yes, she's right
Oh,
here.
there she is. Okay.
So I
This is more than progress. Yeah. This is, they inappropriately have me going first and you going second. Should we fix that or? Okay. All right. Well, then I might suggest, and I'll turn it over.
Is that everyone ready? You all ready? Is everyone ready?
Hi, Rachel.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here at what is truly a monumental day for the Warren Sherman neighborhood, a monumental day for kids in this community, and a monumental day for Toledo. After decades of talk and, frankly, inaction, today we're here to celebrate a major investment that will produce a brand new Wayman Palmer YMCA right at this site in a development that will benefit the community, our kids, and our city. It is a partnership, as you can see. I think you don't have the number of people here over my shoulders and the number of folks gathered unless you have a pretty robust partnership with literally dozens of organizations. And this is also something you can't pull off in a week. This is something that has been the product of probably a year, maybe even 15 months, but many months, over a year of work with dozens of community partners. And today we're here to announce to the community what we're doing for the kids of Toledo, and we're going to hear from all of the many people who spent the better part of the last year and a half to make this a reality. There was a moment about a month ago when Peloton had their groundbreaking for their new 2,200 employee manufacturing site, where reference was made to how Peloton was going to donate equipment and help convert the exercise space at Wayman Palmer into a more dynamic first-class operation. And when Peloton mentioned that, I said to myself, oh my goodness, the secret might be getting out. But fortunately, we were able to hold off and put all the pieces together to enjoy today's announcement. I simply might say that this is yet another step in a series of investments that are going to have long-term transformative benefits, not just to the city in general, but specifically to people, the people who live in and around neighborhoods that have been disinvested in for too long. And so whether it is this brand new Wayman Palmer YMCA, whether it is the demolition of the Driggs Dairy that we announced recently, whether it is the investment in the Wayman, I'm sorry, not the Wayman Palmer YMCA, but the Frederick Douglass Community Center, again, after 50 years of no investment. I saw Councilwoman McPherson here earlier, and she talked about how this is yet another step in millions of dollars of investment that had gone for far too long, or if it is the hundreds of children who are attending a pre-K today that they wouldn't have otherwise, or the hundreds of 19, 20-year-olds from Scott High School who are attending college today who wouldn't otherwise have done so. All of these things are game-changing investments for individuals who live in communities that for decades have been ignored. Talk is cheap, but action is powerful. And today we are announcing another step in a commitment to provide real results all across Toledo, and especially in the neighborhoods that need it most. So on a personal level, this is something that I couldn't be personally more proud of, simply because of how many partners we have and how long we've been working at it, and how it continues to build upon the other investments I mentioned, whether it's College Promise, Pre-K, Driggs Dairy, Frederick Douglass, so many things that we as a community have been able to do to move the needle and build the city that we all want. The city, yes, is a key part of this, but you don't have this sort of success without the help of a lot of people, and I'm going to turn it now over to one of our many leaders who helped make today possible. She's a friend to all of us and needs no introduction. I'd like to introduce Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur.
Good morning, everyone. I think the mayor invited me because I actually knew Wayman Palmer. And there's some advantages to age, and that is progress. One, over a period of time, an individual can actually see a community reshape itself. And we are here today to celebrate Wayman Palmer's vision. Wayman Palmer was the urban development director, community development director of Toledo following the civil rights movement of the 1960s. And he was very intelligent, and but had a deep sense of humor. And one time I said, Wayman, because he had a little bit of I don't want to say accent, but the way that he talked, I knew he didn't grow up in Toledo. And I said, Wayman, where were you born? He said, Paris. I said, really? He said, yeah, Paris, Tennessee. And so he had a sense of humor also. He was a very positive force in our community. And the original redevelopment here in the Warren Sherman area was actually his vision. But where we stand is a community that since the founding of Toledo really never had normal financial services for the people who lived here. There's a word for that in the law. We now call it redlining. And so we had generation after generation after generation without normal credit. No neighborhood is poor, but many neighborhoods are dispossessed of their own assets. And I'm hoping, and I'm trying to influence those who will build, I'm hoping that the Federal Urban Credit Union might consider putting an ATM or some service up here so the full wealth of this community can finally be housed and reloaned for small businesses, for home loans, for window repair, for door repair, all the things that every neighborhood needs. The vision is for this center to be relocated up on Bancroft, which is great because people can finally see it then. And I really like that idea. And to serve the youth of the neighborhood, and we want to thank the Y for their leadership, right? And for the sacrifice that they have to make. But we have to help the Y be as successful as possible here. And one of the ways to do that is to have very robust participation. One of the real needs in this community and across our city is for housing for grandparents raising grandchildren. I went through a drive-through recently here in this community, and the mother, the woman who was working the window, right? I looked, and she had her grandchild stuffed in a little drawer under where she was doing the work at the register, and I thought, whew. So I just want to let the folks in the city know that at the federal level, we have now refinanced a program at the Department of Housing and Urban Development managed by my dear former colleague in the House, Congresswoman Marcia Fudge, now Secretary of HUD. We've put more money in the 202 program. And we need examples around the country of shelter where we have grandparents raising grandchildren that is appropriate to community. I can't think of a better place than here. We probably need 2 in Toledo at least. And so I'm encouraging those responsible to try to apply, and we will do all we can to help. I also want to thank all of I see Randy Oster here from ProMedica. I also want to recognize St. Vincent's Mercy for their continuing investments in this neighborhood over the years. Many of the housing units that we see that were constructed were because of their leadership. I want to thank the unions on Ashland Avenue, like Laborers International, the United Auto Workers. They could have moved out and suburbanized. They didn't do that. They invested here. We want to thank them for their vision and for their support. A mind is a terrible thing to waste is a phrase we've heard. And I see Superintendent Durant here this morning from our public school system. We couldn't do enough in terms of electronics today to provide learning in the buildings that will be built and used here. Life is about more than sports. Sports is important, but learning is the most important. And so we really appreciate the superintendent being here and the kind of partnership that your presence reveals to us today. As part of Build Back Better, which you know Congress is actually working on right now, this particular construction will fit right in. And so I want to thank and applaud Director Clemens and the city for thinking big, and for Mayor Kapszukiewicz from the beginning of his career for highlighting programming for our youth and education for our youth, especially early childhood education. I'm sure that many people in this community benefit from the expanded child tax credit that Congress enacted, and we hope that those extra dollars will be able to make it easier for families to raise their children and give them every opportunity, especially the realization of their own potential that only comes through education. And so I want to thank all the leaders that are here. I see that Vanice Williams, the city councilwoman from this area, is here, and she's a perfect example of what it means to be a strong mother and to raise a daughter who's now studying pre-law at Kent State University with a 3.5 average. That's what we want out of this neighborhood from every household. So, Councilwoman, I think you're next.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for everyone coming out, and thank you so much, Congresswoman Kaptur. Congresswoman Kaptur has been such an example for us here in Toledo because she always fights for Toledo, and she fights for the neighborhoods that need it the most. And here in District 4, we needed it the most. We still need it the most. So I'm so excited to be here because this is something that is so near and dear to me, because I actually grew up and lived in the Moody Manor and had a daughter in the Moody Manor that Congresswoman Kaptur just mentioned. My daughter started out playing basketball here. She started out playing basketball, and she continued on to her senior year at St. Ursula Academy, and she graduated in 2019. This was an intricate part of me being a single mother and needing a space for my daughter to go to that kept her active, kept her activated, kept her learning. She started out at Stewart Academy for Girls, and she brought some of her friends from Stewart Academy for Girls over here to play basketball with her, and it was just a family here. But one thing that I will say is, as we came here to the Y, we traveled around and went to other Ys and saw that it was so amazing at the other Ys. And she asked me, she said, all the girls asked us, why can't we have a pool at our Y? Why can't we have this and that at our Y? Well, now no other little girl will have to say that. No little girl, no little boy will have to say that, because this is a monumental project here. This is something that this neighborhood has needed for decades. I remember walking over to the plaza to go to the grocery store and wanting my daughter to come play at the park, but guess what? This park right here is brand new, but we didn't have a park there before. So now we'll have a park here. The plans were amazing. When I was pulled in, I said I'm in full support. I didn't care what it looked like. We needed to make sure it needed to be done. This needed to be done, and I'm so happy that all the partners are here because we need to make this great for this neighborhood. This is the opportunity for Toledo to show that we care about our impoverished neighborhoods that have been redlined, and this is amazing for us. We are not any longer forgotten, and I thank you so much for being here to everyone. Wayman Palmer has been here and served as an educator, teaching first science, general science and mathematics, which I wasn't a math teacher. I was business education, so he's way ahead of me, was way ahead of me. He taught in Columbia, South Carolina, and later taught at Toledo Public School System from 1952 to 1966. He was propelled by his love for the community and his desire to make a difference in people's lives. He helped attract millions of dollars, jobs, and opportunities to this community, and he championed initiative waves to create access for affordable housing. This will be the best project to represent Wayman Palmer's commitment to this neighborhood. Wayman Palmer is what this should be. This should be a momentum occasion for everyone to see this come about. I can't wait for the groundbreaking. I'll dig the shovel myself. I will not be dressed up. I'll dig a few times with the shovel. So I'm so excited, and I ask everyone to make sure that you urge on and keep the city of Toledo will keep investing, and I want you guys to see it. Thank you so much. And I'm going to introduce now, you can go ahead and clap for that. I'm sorry. If you don't realize, I'm so passionate about this because I can't wait to bring my daughter back. So before we go any further, I definitely have to say shout out to my colleague. She definitely has stomped for District 4 along with me. She's amazing, and she will continue to keep fighting for District 4 and the city of Toledo. Councilwoman Sandra McPherson.
Good morning, Toledo. Are we excited? Yeah. This is beyond fabulous. I work at Scott High School, not far from here, and I'm a product of Toledo Public Schools also. Class of 77, Libby High School Cowboys. Go Cowboys. But, Mr. Williams, your hard work and keeping the Wayman Palmer YMCA together, your dream, your prayers, your steadfastness is to be commended. If you haven't been inside there, you need to just go through and see what he's done just so far to refabricate, just to beautify it so that our children will be proud to come to the YMCA. But now when you look at this, it's well past overdue, but thank God it's about to happen because our children, our community deserves this. This is what I'm talking about when we say reinvest in our neighborhoods. We are going to bring back the neighbor into the hood. This is starting first. Frederick Douglass Center being totally renovated. This is monumental, Councilwoman Williams. Yes, it is. And as a part of council and to the mayor and to Congresswoman Marcy, thank you for supporting us and working with us to make this for our African American children right here in this neighborhood a dream come true. I'm telling you. My students at Scott High School, I work with special ed students. My students at Scott High School will be able to walk over here, Dr. Durant, and impart in swimming, exercise, social skills, learning to play with one another, and so much more. And this is only the beginning for the city of Toledo. The possibilities here in the city of Toledo are endless. And we're working, city council, the administration, the mayor, we're working to invest in the city of Toledo. Dr. Clemens, you rock. You rock. She is diligent in making sure that our neighborhoods are going to get what they need, and the citizens of Toledo that have been in disparity, you're coming out, Toledo. You're coming out, and I want to thank everybody for being here today. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. I'm sorry, but this is a God thing right now. God bless you all. Hooray for Toledo. And I have the honor to introduce the Department of Neighborhoods Director, the Chief, the go-getter, the hard worker, the negotiator, Dr. Rosalyn Clemens.
I don't know, since I got to Toledo, people started calling me doctor. I'm not a doctor. My dad told me if I got a PhD, I wouldn't find a husband, so I didn't, I didn't pursue it. So this is obviously a great day for the Department of Neighborhoods. Our mandate from our mayor is to continue to reinvest in neighborhoods that have not experienced investments in the city of Toledo. This project, when I talked to the mayor and his team, I said this project is a legacy project for us. This project is a must-do project for us. We must do this because these are the types of investments that make for equity and inclusion. Equity and inclusion for us is not just a buzzword. It means projects like the Wayman Palmer Y vision. And that's why we are doing this. That's why we are doing this. The mayor has said that words are cheap, and I have the unenviable responsibility of figuring out how to fund this and to get it done. But we can do this, Toledo. We will hear shortly from our collaborators and walk you through the design. We estimate that this will be a $21 million project. $21 million that we can fund from our CDBG allocation, that we can fund from our CDBG Section 108 borrowing capability, that we can fund from philanthropic contributions, that we can fund from the Y Capital campaign, and fund potentially from our ARPA funds. So this is something that we can do. We will be rolling up our sleeves and finalizing this plan after the September 27th community meeting to receive comments on the design, and hope by the end of November to have a presentation to our council. But we're going to do this, Toledo. Yes. We're going to get this done because it's the right thing to do. Yes. And this is what economic development is all about. This is what community development is all about. It is facilitating these types of projects that are catalysts, that will be catalysts for changing neighborhoods. That's why we are doing this. So we anticipate the timeline for this will be by the end of this year. We'll have our funding plan in place. Construction will start in 2023, and we hope to have this new facility open in 2024. I guarantee you that it's going to get done. So now we're going to have our partners in this, the Root of Libby Collaborative, Ray Misham. If you could come up, Ray, to just walk the visitors here today through the new design, what it's going to look like, and then we'll field questions after that. Thank you.
Quick introduction, I need to bring my team up to help me. Melissa O'Neill, who's an architect with our office, is doing the design work, and Rachel here is a planner and working on the park side and the community engagement, or will be working on the community engagement that's coming quickly. Great moment. It's great to just sort of bask in this moment, personally. A little bit about the site layout first. I'm a little embarrassed to say that I grew up in Toledo. I played a lot of volleyball in that gym. I still used my GPS this morning to get here. And part of that is just the facility is not terribly visible. And we thought it'd be a great opportunity to put the new building up on Baycroft Street, where it really can be a heart to the community and much more visible. And the collateral benefit that that brought is that we can keep the existing building in operation while the new building is being built and not take any of those services offline at all during the construction period. And when the new building is built up on Bancroft, this building will be torn down and this parking lot taken out, and there'll be a new beautiful green space with much more intensive programming in it that Rachel will talk about in a second. But with that, I'll let Alyssa describe the building.
Good morning. The vision for the new Wayman Palmer Community YMCA doubles the existing square footage to approximately 50,000 square feet. The new building will contain multi-purpose rooms for youth gaming, a demonstration kitchen, and community meetings and events. There'll be a community hub and lounge where people can relax and meet up. There'll be gymnasiums, fitness, and exercise rooms, as well as its new gym, a new indoor pool. The indoor family pool will contain lap swimming for exercise, options for generational fitness, and options for family recreation. There'll also be a new community hub lounge space that views the fitness center. Where we're standing now will become the new Inez Nash Park.
Yes, the new Inez Nash Park will move back from Bancroft and actually be where we're standing today and very much embedded within the neighborhood. And together we'll work with the community to determine which programmatic elements should be included in the park. So we've produced some sketches to really show that this park could highlight youth sports, multi-generational fitness and play, community gathering, or a mixture of all the above, and they can be arranged in a variety of different ways. And as Director Clemens mentioned, we will hold a community event here on the 27th where we'll gather input from the community members. So together we can design a new Inez Nash Park that really represents the community's desires. So now it's my pleasure to introduce Carrie Sabaria, CEO of RFS Behavioral Health, the TACKLE program, and the chair of the Wayman Palmer YMCA board. Carrie?
Good morning, everybody. I want to keep the mantra going, and I also want to say I am a proud Till Public School graduate, 1991 Woodward. I just want to say best football class ever in the city of Toledo, right? So great day to be here. So good morning. Like she said, my name is Carrie Sarabian. For the past 2 years, I have been given the proud honor of serving as the Wayman Palmer chairman of the board. First, I'd like to recognize our executive director, Eric Williams, and thank him for all the wonderful dedication, passion, and investment he has put into the Wayman Palmer. I met Eric 3 years ago through Debbie, and Eric was new to the area from Pittsburgh, and he was reaching out to our community partners on how to develop a board and really how to move the Wayman Palmer forward. And I can tell you that these last 3 years have been, I don't want to say a struggle, but trying to figure out our identity, bringing the Wayman Palmer back to where it's prestigious, where it was before. We've had years and years of trying to find identity and where we're going to move from here. And where this is going is fantastic. We can't be more proud of Eric and the work he's done and his investments. So thank you, Eric, for everything that you have done. Second, I would like to thank all the fabulous men and women who serve on the Wayman Palmer board. We have worked diligently and have all contributed to this special day. I thank all of you for your commitment to the Wayman Palmer, but most importantly to the community that we serve. So I know we have board members here. If you guys would like to raise your hands to be recognized, please raise your hands. I know Gail's back there. We got some quiet people. All right. I would also like to thank Brad Toft and his leadership team for hearing our voices and making a commitment to the build of the state-of-the-art YMCA. The new Wayman Palmer will provide a safe and nurturing environment for our youth and provide additional resources to an underserved population. As Marcy Kaptur and others have said, this community needs this Wayman Palmer. It needs these resources, and it's time that we start rebuilding our inner cities and our communities. Lastly, I would like to thank our mayor, I don't want to disrespect you and mess your name up. I grew up in the Polish Village, and it must not have rubbed off on me, so I must say thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank the city of Toledo, Vanice, and other councilwomen who are here. We appreciate that, and of course our state officials, Mrs. Kaptur, we appreciate you guys being here for this momentous day. Without them, none of this could be possible. I'd like to thank you, or thank you on behalf of Eric Williams, Brad Toft, and the Wayman Palmer. I'm gonna go off script a little bit here for like couple seconds, and I would just like to say again, all the fabulous work that has gone into this with the board. I see Pastor Kopp over there, who's been instrumental with everything that he's done with the Wayman Palmer in this neighborhood. But it's been a trial and tribulations. The dedication, the perseverance of our board was phenomenal. It's been a long time overdue, and I tell you what, it was a really good secret because we didn't find out till like maybe a couple months ago, and we were fighting to make sure that we keep the Wayman Palmer on this property. And we were so happy that they made a decision that Wayman Palmer was going to stay because it's not going to relocate any of the kids that are already coming here currently. So again, great day. We're very, very excited. Thank you guys for all coming. Thank you guys for everything that you guys done. And I will hand it off to CEO Brad Toft.
All right, so we're almost done, right? Almost done. Councilwoman McPherson, thank you for your enthusiasm. This is a big deal, isn't it? Oh, come on. We can do better than that. Let's go, huh? Let's go. This is a wonderful thing. I'd like to thank the mayor. I'd like to thank Roz, Karen, Abby, Karen, and City Council for making this happen. This is unbelievable. I'd like to recognize my board of trustees that are here. If you guys could raise your hand. I know we have a few of them. Grateful for your leadership toward Y. I would also like to just personally thank Randy and ProMedica for the leadership that you give our community. If you had the opportunity to be at FanFest on Friday night, it was an unbelievable night for our community. I was proud to be a Toledo native. Thank you for your leadership to our community and to the Y, Randy. Eric, a lot of people thank you. I thank you as well. So we're here celebrating a building, right? Which is very cool. But what I'm most excited about is what we're going to do within those four walls, because the building doesn't change lives, it's the programs that people are in. The Y is going to be a place that is a safe place for the community to gather, young and old alike. The Y will be a place where kids attending our preschool are going to be ready to be successful once they enter school. The Y will be a place where people come to improve their health, whether it's wellness or some of our access to our chronic disease prevention programs. It's going to be a place where the community can access services through partners that address specific needs. We've had conversations with a number of partners that were hoping to join us in the building, and we are actively looking for like-minded people to join us. High school age youth are going to be able to develop leadership skills, graduate from high school and know their next place. A place where a family can come and grab food from our food choice pantry. A place where kids can learn to swim and families can come together to come closer and to love each other. And finally, this is an impact that's going to last generations, as has been stated. We're going to have a positive impact on youth, families, and adults for generations to come. So grateful for what we have in front of us, and I will turn it back to Wade.
Kerry said that he heard about this a couple months ago. Right? Some heard about it just a week ago. But whenever you heard about it, you were excited for what this means for Toledo. We are going to continue to do the hard work necessary to rebuild our neighborhoods. There are 200 kids, 200 4-year-olds today who are getting free pre-K who didn't have it before. There are well over 120 teenagers, young adults who are in college for free today that otherwise wouldn't have had it. Driggs Dairy is gone. The Frederick Douglass Community Center is being invested in, and an entirely brand new YMCA is being built. This isn't a renovation. This is an entirely new building. We are moving and making progress, and there's a lot more to do, and we're going to keep doing it. But we're only able to do it because of the partnership of so many people and the willingness to do right by our kids and to do right by this neighborhood. So with that, I see, I don't know if Randy wants to say anything or Dr. Durant. There's so many people here. If everyone has spoken, I suppose we can turn it open to questions, or we can do one-on-ones, whatever the desire of the media is. But seeing your blank stares, that tells me you're interested in one-on-one. So I think we'll wrap it up and just say congratulations, and we look forward to that groundbreaking.